There's this, like, in Ram Dass's new book, Polishing the Mirror, there's this great story about this guy who is in, I don't know, he's like in Japan, and he was studying some martial art, and he'd been studying it for a long time, and he was like a black belt, and he'd never gotten in a fight. And the I can't remember what it was, like Taekwondo, or I can't remember what it was. And the teachers always say, like all martial artists do, when you get good enough at this, then you will never fight again. You will just diffuse conflict, and there'll never be a fight. And so he's on a bus. This fucking drunk guy gets in the bus, or a train. Drunk guy gets on the train. Drunk, stinking of booze. Just this drunk Japanese pig asshole dude. And he, like, shoves a woman. He walks in and just shoves a woman, and he's like, this guy's sitting there. He's like, here it is. Here is the perfect opportunity for me to finally get to use my black belt and fight, you know, because break a nose or something. And so, like, he stands up, and the guy sees him. The Japanese guy sees him standing up, and he wants to fight because he's just this drunk, you know, alpha male Japanese dude. So they're about to get into it when this old man who he's sitting next to says, sit here. And he sits down next to this old man. And the old man says to him, and he's like mad, and the old man is like, what have you been drinking? And he's like, sake. And the old man's like, oh, sake. I love sake. At night, my wife and I sit and watch the sunset and drink sake. And the guy softens up a little bit, and he says to him, do you have a wife? And the guy's like, my wife died. And he just starts sobbing. Ooh. And then, so the guy watches the drunk then lay his head on the old man's lap, and the old man is like petting him, and the guy's sobbing, and the old man's just saying, I'm sorry. And that is when the guy saw true martial arts. Right. Because what had just happened there was, not only was there no conflict, but that darkness inside that guy gotten sucked out.
He sucked the ghost out.
Yes! Yes!
Japanese goat sucker.
That's fucking badass, man.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a Jedi kind of thing.
That is high fucking tech, man, because one thing's for certain. This is the thing I realized, man. Here's one thing's for certain. Being an asshole to people in the hopes of making them nicer doesn't work. Because if it did, we would live on a planet of the nicest people
ever. Could you imagine if that fucking